What if I told you that one of Hollywood's most influential marketing masterminds, the man behind the campaigns of some of the biggest blockbusters of the past decade, has just walked out the doors of Paramount Pictures? This is not just another executive shuffle. This is part of a massive wave of change shaking the very core of one of Hollywood's oldest studios. And at the center of the storm is Marc Weinstock, the man who helped push Top Gun: Maverick into the stratosphere, who made Sonic the Hedgehog a family sensation, and who shaped the chilling allure of A Quiet Place. His exit raises a big question. What's really happening inside Paramount, and who's stepping in to take control of the studio's marketing machine? Let's dive deep into the untold details of this major Hollywood power move. Marc Weinstock's journey at Paramount began back in February 2019. Coming in from Annapurna Pictures, where he had been president, Weinstock was no stranger to high-stakes campaigns. Paramount brought him in at a time when the studio desperately needed a fresh approach to marketing, as competition with Disney, Universal, and Warner Brothers was fiercer than ever. He quickly proved himself with a series of high-profile wins. Imagine the challenge of reviving Top Gun, a film franchise that had been dormant for decades. For many, the sequel was a gamble, a nostalgia play that could easily have gone wrong. But under Weinstock's leadership, Paramount crafted a campaign that emphasized Tom Cruise's daredevil authenticity, those breathtaking aerial stunts, and the emotional pull of legacy storytelling. The result? Top Gun: Maverick didn't just succeed, it became a cultural phenomenon, grossing nearly $1.5 billion worldwide. But Top Gun wasn't the only triumph. When Paramount brought Sonic the Hedgehog to the big screen, the project initially looked doomed. Fans were furious over the character's early design. Many predicted failure before the film even launched. Yet, Weinstock's team orchestrated a smart and humble pivot, listening to fan feedback, redesigning Sonic, and then relaunching the campaign in a way that restored trust and curiosity. The movie went on to become a surprise hit, cementing Sonic as a viable franchise for Paramount. And then came A Quiet Place, a film that relied not on loud spectacle but on silence, tension, and fear. Marketing a horror film without revealing too much is a delicate art, but Weinstock found that balance, drawing audiences in with mystery while keeping the film's core scares intact. It's safe to say his tenure delivered results. Now, here's where things get interesting. Hollywood insiders are buzzing because Marc Weinstock isn't just leaving on his own terms. His exit is part of a much larger transformation happening at Paramount under the new leadership of David Ellison, the CEO of Skydance, who recently took control of the studio. Ellison has been reshaping the executive suite, removing longtime Paramount figures and replacing them with his own allies. In just the last few months, we've seen the departure of Paramount Motion Picture Group Chief Michael Ireland, Chief Communications Officer Justin Deeney, and even co-CEOs Chris McCarthy and Brian Robbins. Weinstock is now the latest name on this growing list of high-profile exits. Picture this. A studio that once operated under a very traditional, corporate structure is suddenly being torn down and rebuilt under Ellison's vision. Executives who once called the shots on which films to greenlight, how to market them, and how to distribute them, are finding themselves on the outside looking in. The shakeup is creating ripples not just within Paramount, but across Hollywood, because rival studios are watching closely to see how Ellison's bold restructuring will reshape Paramount's identity in a time when the industry is already facing massive disruption from streaming, strikes, and shifting audience habits. But if Marc Weinstock is leaving, who's stepping in? Enter Josh Goldstine, a name that carries serious weight in Hollywood marketing circles. Reports surfaced in Puck that Goldstine, the former marketing chief of both Universal Pictures and Warner Brothers, is in active talks to join Paramount. And this is no small deal. Goldstine was the marketing brain behind Barbie, a campaign that turned a quirky toy-based film into a billion-dollar global event. He also handled the epic scope of the Dune films, with their sweeping visuals and highbrow sci-fi appeal. If he joins Paramount, it would mean the studio is handing the keys of its marketing future to one of the industry's most proven strategists. Think of the contrast here. On one side, Marc Weinstock, a steady hand with campaigns that leaned into authenticity, fan engagement, and clever pivots. On the other side, Josh Goldstine, a master at creating cultural movements around films, transforming them into not just box office hits but lifestyle moments. It signals a potential shift in Paramount's marketing philosophy, from reliable blockbusters to bold cultural events that dominate social media and capture the zeitgeist. So why does all this matter to you, the moviegoer? Because the way a film is marketed is often the difference between whether you're excited enough to buy a ticket or scroll past. Marketing shapes the trailers you watch, the billboards you see, the social media trends that flood your feed, and even the memes that make you laugh. Behind every box office success, there's a team of strategists pulling the strings, deciding how to position a movie in your mind. When that leadership changes, the ripple effects reach all the way to your Friday night movie choices. Let's also consider the bigger picture. Paramount is at a crossroads. Streaming competition from Netflix, Disney+, and Amazon has eaten into theatrical dominance. Audiences are fragmented, with younger viewers spending more time on TikTok than in cinemas. At the same time, blockbuster budgets are ballooning, meaning studios can't afford missteps. In this environment, marketing becomes more than just promotion, it becomes survival. Every film must be positioned not only as worth your money but worth your time in an oversaturated entertainment landscape. With Ellison's restructuring and the possible addition of Goldstine, Paramount is clearly betting that bold, event-driven marketing will be the key to standing out. Now let's step back into the drama of the moment. Imagine the atmosphere inside Paramount's headquarters. Executives gathering in tense boardrooms, hushed conversations in hallways, longtime colleagues whispering about who might be next. Marc Weinstock, after 5 years of service and multiple successes, clearing out his office, perhaps shaking hands with team members who are both shocked and uncertain about the future. On the other side, Josh Goldstine, sitting in negotiations, weighing whether to join this volatile but potentially transformative chapter of Paramount history. These are not just business moves. They're personal journeys filled with risk, ambition, and the constant pressure of Hollywood's unforgiving spotlight. And here's a thought that makes the story even juicier. What if Josh Goldstine says yes, takes the reins at Paramount, and immediately has to prove himself with one of the studio's upcoming tentpole films? Imagine him crafting the campaign for the next Mission Impossible or perhaps rebooting a beloved franchise. The stakes would be enormous, and the industry would be watching every move. Success would validate Ellison's overhaul. Failure would raise serious doubts about whether the shakeup was worth it. It's also worth noting that Paramount itself has been fighting for relevance in an era where Disney dominates with Marvel and Star Wars, and Universal has franchises like Fast and Furious, Jurassic World, and Despicable Me. Paramount's own lineup has often looked thinner, with fewer guaranteed blockbusters. That means the pressure on marketing is even greater. Without a strong slate of films, the studio must rely on making each release feel bigger than it actually is. And that requires genius-level marketing leadership. So where does this leave Marc Weinstock? For a veteran with a resume that includes campaigns for Logan, Hidden Figures, and The Revenant during his time at Fox and Sony, the possibilities are wide open. Hollywood is always in need of experienced marketing minds, and Weinstock's track record ensures he won't be on the sidelines for long. Whether he moves to another studio, joins a streaming platform, or even launches his own consultancy, his next chapter will be one to watch. In the end, the story of Marc Weinstock's exit from Paramount is more than just one man leaving a job. It's a window into the transformation of an entire studio, a reflection of how Hollywood power dynamics are shifting, and a reminder that behind every blockbuster, there's a battle being fought long before the cameras roll. As David Ellison continues his sweeping overhaul, and as Josh Goldstine considers stepping into the spotlight, one thing is certain: the future of Paramount Pictures is being rewritten right now. And for movie lovers everywhere, the results of these decisions will shape the films we see, the stories we celebrate, and the cultural moments we remember for years to come. So, the next time you're blown away by a trailer or find yourself caught up in a viral movie campaign, remember, someone like Marc Weinstock or Josh Goldstine is pulling the strings. And right now, those strings at Paramount are being handed to new hands, setting the stage for Hollywood's next big act.